Okay, so this is our homework number 2, and we can use homework number 1 as the starting point. So make a copy of your homework number 1 website and rename it to homework number 2. And I assume you're going to save everything on your M drive if you're using the lab computer or virtual lab. Now go to Visual Studio and open it. It should be on your M drive if you're following all the instructions. Took me a while to find it, but you should save it on your M drive. Okay, now the website is open. Let's just see if it works. Viewing browser. It works. 3 pages. Good. So now we can start working on it. First, we want to change the title from homework 1 to homework 2. And then we can start adding a database. So if you're using a lab computer or virtual lab, it's all set for database. You don't need to do any prerequisite thing in the instruction. So add a SQL Server database, give it a name prime.mdf. And save it in that special folder. It's always a good idea to do it. So after a while, when it's successfully added, you're going to see a new folder, ASP_data, APP_data. It took a while when I record this video. Just wait. And also, I was using the Express version of Visual Studio 2012. So the window, the pane is called Database Explorer. But if you're using the full version, it should be called Server Explorer. They're the same. Alright, so we have the database. You can see it in the Server Explorer window or Database Explorer window. And make sure that icon on the lower right corner has a green plug, so that means the database is up and running. So now we need to switch to a different program, so Visual SQL Server Management Studio. It's already installed on lab computer and virtual lab. Just run it. SQL Server Management Studio. It's starting. Still waiting. Good. So connect to the server in Visual Studio, the SQL database server. Make sure you type exactly as it is here. Pay attention to that backward slash. It's on the right hand side of the keyboard, not the one on the bottom. Okay, so once it's connected, you should be able to see the database you just created in Visual Studio. Make sure you find the right one. For you, it should be something like on M drive. you should have just one. Expand it under tables, right click, and then new table. So now we're going to start adding the first table. So we're going to add a bunch of fields. These fields are all listed in the instruction. You just need to enter them one by one and make sure the case are also exactly the same, because SQL Server is case sensitive. And choose the right data type, integer for the primary key, street address. At this moment you can save it under a different name, tbl underscore property. Next field is street. Type is MVIR char 50, so that means you can have up to 50 characters for a street name. It can be flexible. And make sure MLS underscore MBR is set as the primary key. And third field or column is town, VAR char 50, variable length up to 50 characters. State, so this is a nchar 2, so that's always who letter, abbreviation for state. Zip code, nchar 5, 5-digit zip code, always 5 digits. Bed, how many bedroom, tiny integer, small number. And then bath, how many bathrooms there are, tiny int again. Square feet, integer. So all of these are not allowed nulls. That means they cannot be empty for any property listing here. You must provide a value. List state is state. Status is another tiny integer. So this is going to be like 1, 2, 3. Each one will have a specific meaning that will be specified in another table. The last field is price. It's going to be a monetary value. So that's all the fields, all the columns. You can give a definition to each column. To make it more meaningful. And this will also be the foreign key that link to another table. So I didn't add the rest of the description. You can do that yourself. And now let's add the second table. This is the table lists all the name of the status. So the first field is the status number or code. It's a tiny int, so I have to match the foreign key type. And this is the status name. It's a variable length character, 50 of them. And the primary key will be the first column. Save that as table underscore status. And then you can add relationship between the two tables. So that is by adding a new base diagram. Some error pops up. Try it again. Add the two tables onto the drawing board, and then click the primary key and drag and drop it onto the foreign key. So where you drop makes a difference. So make sure it's from the status underscore code to status in the other table. So that will give you a one-to-many relationship between the two tables. So you should have two tables and one database diagram. So at this moment, we're done setting up the tables. You can go back to Studio and start entering some data. So for the status table, that's the parent table, it should be, the data should go in there first. And show table data. Should be empty. We can start entering these different status. 1 active, 2 sales pending, so on and so forth. So I have 6 different records in the instruction. Just enter all of them. Alright, so that's table status. And then for the other table, the listing table, table underscore property, we can enter 3 records. I skipped the part. Try not to bore you too much. You need to just enter them yourself. So now we enter all the data. We can start adding data control onto our page. So this is our listing page. We're going to add view control. So remove the table, which is static. We're not going to use that anymore. Instead, we're going to add a data control. Oh, I'm bringing up the line number. Okay. So go to the toolbox under data category. There's a grid view. And just double click or drag and drop. And now we can switch to design view to configure the grid view. So highlight the grid view, click on that little button, and then choose data source. Every grid view needs a data source. It's going to be a new data source. It's going to come from a database. Can give it a special name. And we're going to establish a new connection from that database. So that's the connection string created for us automatically. You can save the connection string in a more meaningful name. And now choose which table will provide the data for the grid view. That's the table underscore property. all the fields are chosen. Check that checkbox. Click on next. So we can test query to see if the data are pulled correctly. Yeah, 3 records. Finish. Alright, so now review this should be there. So this is our configuration file. You should notice there's a connection string added. And make sure you don't change anything here. And then if you look at the listings page, a grid view has been configured successfully. And then we can enable these different features for the grid view. Save it and take a look. Very good. The grid view shows 3 records. So you can do update right here in the grid view. It will change it for you. Usually grid view should be just read only. I'm just showing you all the different functions you can add to the grid view. So at this moment, you can also sort it according to fields. If you choose delete, it will be deleted from the table. I didn't try it. And then you can also look at the source, see where all the columns are. So there should be a SQL data source control and the grid view 1 control. And the grid view is connected to the SQL data source. So now switch back to design view, and we want to do a little bit customization. So we want to add another table into this grid view so we can display the name of the status instead of just the number. So that requires a customized query to get the data we need. Add the other table. And choose the field we need, the column, status name column. So that's the query. Add another column. Check that. Alright. So they'll be added into the query. Click OK. Next, test the query. So now we see also the name of the status, which is from the other table. Finish. And they will refresh the grid view, say yes. Very good. So the status name is added as the last column. So I'm going to change some other functions. And also gonna modify the number of columns. There's auto format, you can do different format. Go to the edit columns. So I think we're gonna remove that number code column, so only show the name of the column, and we can change the column header to just status. So let's take a look. Alright, yep, so the status name is displayed and the code is not displayed anymore. Another thing we can do is we can modify the format of the price to use a monetary accounting format, so make sure you enter it exactly as it is. That will give you an accounting format. Good. And for the list date, we just want to show the date without the time. That can be done in edit column 2. Give it another special formatting string that will display only the date part. Alright, so I think we're pretty much done with the grid view. So next, we're gonna add another page so we can edit, mainly enter new data. So this will be a new page. We'll call it entry.aspx. And thus, on this page, we're gonna add a new data control form view. So first, just give it a meaningful title. Now add a level 2 heading. And then find data control from the toolbox. Form view. And then we can go to the design view to modify the form view. Choose a data source, a new one, because we're on a new page. It's from database. And we can use the existing connection string, the same table. Make sure you click advanced to enable insert, update, and delete. Otherwise it will be read-only. Test query, 3 records, finish. Enable paging so we can move from one record to another, because form view is this one record at a time. And then we also want to change some of the templates regarding how it is displaying certain mode. So this is how the we want to make sure that if we have an empty table, we can still show some link. So we can create a new record. We copy the new from the item template, and then we're going to paste it into the empty data template. So if the table is empty, we can create a new record. Alright, that's good. Let's take a look at this. So click on new, you can add a new record. The date has to be a date. Status 1 means active. So the 1, 2, 3 for status is not very user friendly because you have to remember what number is for what status. We're gonna change that soon. Delete. That will delete the record. We can also add a link to the listing page so we can get to this data entry page easily. Add a hyperlink. So the text of the link will read edit listings, and the navigate URL will be this new page. Just scroll up, I should be able there. Entry.aspx. Alright. So from that link we can go to this new page and can go back. This page does not show up in the navigation structure, the breadcrumb, so we need to add it as a child of the listing page. So first change that into open closing pair, and then we add a new sitemap node inside. Okay, do the closing tag. It's case sensitive. Alright, in here, insert a node. The URL will be this new page, entry.aspx under root, and the title will be listing entry. Description can be left empty, and close the tag with a slash. Alright, so this should add this new page into the navigation structure. Let's Let's test it one more time. Go to the listing page, click on the link. Yeah, so it shows up as a child of the listing page. Good. And the last thing we're going to do is to replace the text box in the form view that we have to enter the status number, and we want to replace it with a drop-down box so we can choose a status. So we need to modify two templates. One is, let's see, the edit, insert item template. So when we enter new records, we want to replace that text box with a drop-down box. So delete that. So this is how it looks now. It's a text box, you have to enter a number. So we want to replace it. So choose that and delete, and then find a drop-down box. No, that's the wrong category. It should be under standard. Drop-down list. And then the drop-down list will get data from a source. That's the other table in our database. And then the name will be used for display, and the actual code will be used for data. And then we need to bind it to this fields in the property table, status field. So it's going pretty fast, so you can pause the video and do it on your own. And let's see how that works. So click on new. See, this is going to allow you to choose a status. So this takes care of the enter new records. But the editing part is still asking for the number, so we need to do the same thing for the edit item template. Exactly the same way. Delete the text box, add a drop-down list, the drop-down list will get data from the same source. The table status. And it will bind to the same fields in property table. And we're done. Let's test it. If you see that, you can just find a page called app offline and delete it. Right, click on edit. So now it's also a drop-down box, so you can choose a different status and verify it's actually changed to 2. That's right. Display will be sales pending. We can try it one more time. Switch back to active or sold. correctly as sold. Well, I think that's all we need to do for homework number 2. That is a lot. So submit the whole folder as a zip